Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the September meeting for the Ann Arbor Commission on Disability Issues. It is now 4:05 Eastern Time. I would like to call this meeting to order. With that, the first agenda item is our roll call. We're going to head and do roll call for the commission. Kennedy will then name you, and if you could please then state your name um, and where you are coming from today. That would be great. Kennedy?
Alrighty, here we go. Chair Damon,
Yes. Hi, Zach Damon, Chairman, Commission on Disability Issues. I'm coming to you from Ann Arbor, Washtenaw County.
Vice Chair Keeler,
Vice Chair Larry Keeler coming to you from Ann Arbor as well.
Commissioner Mozak. She's present. I believe she had a family matter, so she's here.
Yes, she's joining, just not able to have audio. Thank you.
Yep. Commissioner Solomon,
Matthew Solomon, Commissioner, Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Commissioner Hawkins, Commissioner Gossage, Commissioner Ratcliffe,
Hi, good afternoon. Rosanita Ratcliffe calling in from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Commissioner Packard, Commissioner Chambers,
Elena Chambers, Commissioner, calling in from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Commissioner Buis, and Commissioner Inkenbauer.
Hello, yes, Sam Inkenbauer here calling in from Ann Arbor.
And Councilmember Ghazi Edwin.
Hello, everyone. Councilmember Ghazi Edwin here calling in from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
All right, that was our roll call.
Thank you very much, Kennedy. Next, we have anyone for public comment on with us today. Please note that if you are doing public comment, whether that is here on the Zoom or calling in, you do have a 3-minute time limit today. Kennedy, do we have anybody on for public comment?
Currently, at this time, we have no callers listed or on the call for public comment.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the approval of today's agenda. Everyone should have gotten a copy of the agenda along with the meeting invitation prior to today's meeting. If there were any corrections to the agenda, hopefully that was communicated. If there are corrections, please mention it now. Otherwise, I would like to make a motion to approve today's agenda.
I'll move to approve.
All right, Larry will move to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, Rosanita seconds. All in favor of approving today's agenda, please unmute and say aye.
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 Thank you. Today's agenda is approved. Next, we move forward to the approval of the meeting minutes from June 26th. Everyone, if you did receive a copy of the agenda, a copy of the minutes was also within that agenda. If anyone has any corrections or amendments to the minutes, please feel free to bring that forward at this time. If there is not any correction to the meeting minutes, is there a motion to approve the minutes from June 26th?
I'll move to approve.
Okay,
Sure.
Rosanita moves to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Larry
I'll
seconds.
second.
Thank you. All in favor of approving the meeting minutes from June 26, 2024, please unmute and say aye.
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 Thank you very much, everyone. The meeting minutes are approved. And Kennedy, by the way, I do see Commissioner Hawkins has joined us. Commissioner Hawkins, if you could just acknowledge your presence and where you're coming from this afternoon. Thank you.
Hi, Rachel Hawkins, coming from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Thank you. Welcome. Next, we are moving on to the special presentation portion of our agenda today. First up, we have the Washtenaw Library for the Blind and for Disabled with Katie Monkevich. Katie, welcome.
Hi, thanks as always for having me. So happy to be here and to tell you about some of the things that are going on at the library right now. We have a couple of really cool events coming up in the next month that I want to tell you about. Um, the first one is the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact. This is on Tuesday, September 24th from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. at our Westgate branch. The League of Women Voters returned to AADL for an informative presentation about a possible change to our election process. Every voter in every state should have an equal vote in every presidential election. Now, a bill before the Michigan legislature, this will not come to voters, but the LWVMI strongly supports it because it would require the presidential election to be determined by the national popular vote total rather than the Electoral College. This presentation explains the proposal and compares it to using the Electoral College. Then we have an author event coming. Petra Kuppers will be talking about her book Diver Beneath the Street on Wednesday, September 25th at 6:30 at the downtown library. In Petra Kuppers' fourth poetry collection, Diver Beneath the Street, a decaying psychogeography unfurls the landscapes of the 1967 to 1969 Michigan murders, the 2019 Detroit serial killer, and the COVID-19 lockdown in this visceral poetry collection. Author, performance artist, and disability culture activist Petra Kuppers dissects traces of violence in the richness of the soil while honoring lost community members. Dynamic and somatic poems traverse the realms of urban space, wild rivers, and the hinterlands of suburbia, glimpsing the decay of bodies, houses, carpets, hair, and bones by way of eco-poetry. And this one I'm super excited about. We have Friday Night AI. It's a series that we have. And so this particular event is called Redefining Access. Can AI provide disability support? And that's on Friday, September 27th at 6 p.m., the downtown library. Recent years have witnessed tremendous progress in AI with major advances in natural language understanding, image recognition, and speech processing, among others. But are these tools, often built as one-size-fits-all solutions, equally useful for the roughly 20% of the population who live with a disability at some point in their lives? Join us for a conversation with AI and accessibility experts on the limitations of AI-powered tools to assist people who are blind or visually impaired, those who stutter, are deaf or hard of hearing, or those with dyslexia or aphasia, and the opportunities we have to turn these tools into personalized, adaptive technologies that can truly meet diverse accessibility needs. And the speakers at this event are both University of Michigan professors and previous Visions presenters at AADL. It's Anhong Guo and Sheila Omadhain. So that should be really interesting. So those are the events. I'm going to talk about materials now. So all Washtenaw Library for the Blind and Print Disabled patrons can order books by calling us at 734-327-4224 or by emailing us at wlbpd@aadl.org. We encourage everybody to sign up for the Braille and audio reading download service so that you can download your own books. No waiting. To do that, just go to nlsbard.loc.gov or give us a call and we can assist with the application. Just a couple featured books that are on Bard right now. The first is The Future is Disabled, Prophecies, Love Notes, and Morning Songs by Leah Lakshmi Pipesna Samarasina. An essay collection that expands on Leah's best-selling book, Care Work, Centering and Uplifting Disability Justice and Care in the Pandemic Era. In The Future is Disabled, she asks some provocative questions. What if, in the near future, the majority of people will be disabled, and what if that's not a bad thing? And what if disability justice is crucial to creating a future in which it's possible to survive fascism, climate change, and pandemics, and to bring about liberation? And finally, Why Machines Learn: The Elegant Math Behind Modern AI by Anil Ananthaswamy. A rich narrative explanation of the mathematics that has brought us machine learning and the ongoing explosion of artificial intelligence. That is everything that I have for you all today. Does anybody have any comments or questions for me?
Katie, this is Zach.
Mhm.
As always, amazing, engaging things. If you could repeat just two things for me. Number one,
Yeah.
the AI workshop at the library, that's September 27th, correct?
Yep, Friday at 6 p.m. downtown, September 27th.
Got it. Got it. Thank you. And then also, The Future is Disabled. Could you repeat one more time the author, please?
Do I really have to, Zach? No, I'm kidding. It's just a long name. Her name is Leah Lakshmi Pipesna Samarasinha. I think I'm saying it correctly.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anybody else?
Alrighty. I think that's all we've got. As usual, folks, amazing things done at the Ann Arbor District Library and, of course, at the Washtenaw Library for the blind and print disabled. Thank you so much, Katie, and thank you so much to all of your staff.
You're welcome, and thanks so much for having me. Bye.
Bye-bye. Next, we have the Disability Network, Washtenaw Monroe Livingston, report with Andrea Henry. Pardon me. Good afternoon, Andrea. How are you?
Good afternoon. I am okay. Let's see what happened. There I am. Oh, there I am. All right. A little rusty after a summer break away from this, I guess. Wanted to just bring a couple of events that are upcoming rather quickly here. Happening at Disability Network, Washtenaw Monroe Livingston. All events that I'm going to be talking about today are happening at our Ann Arbor location on Research Park Drive. The first is a trunk or treat, which is happening on October the 11th. It is for anyone ages 14 and up. From 6 to 7 p.m., there will be a trunk or treat in our parking lot of our Washtenaw location in Ann Arbor. And then from 7 to 9 p.m. Inside in the building, we will be having a Halloween dance. So come and celebrate with us. Costumes are encouraged and welcomed. More information can be found on our website or by giving us a call at 734-971-0277, or you can email info@dnwml.org. And then coming in early November on a Saturday, November 9th, we will be doing a community harvest gathering with free food and festivities and fun. In conjunction with that, there will also be an open holiday market that you can, folks can come and shop and support local disabled artists. Again, that's in our Ann Arbor location. The harvest gathering is from noon to 2, and then the holiday market is open from 1 to 4 p.m. on Saturday, November 9th. And that's all I have to highlight today, unless anybody has any questions about those events.
Amazing, really fun events. The trunk or treat. I mean, I have to admit, I'm a big fan of candy, so hopefully people can get out there, bring your little ones, right, and do some trunk or treating, and then also the November gathering, harvest gathering, also a lot of fun. Andrea, I just wanted to touch on one event coming up. I believe that's coming up actually rather soon. The 23rd, there's the fall kickoff event for Theater B. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe that is correct. You caught me off guard. But yeah, that is correct. I believe they are kicking off their new fall season after a summer hiatus. Again, that'll be in our Ann Arbor building. And you can call 734-971-0277 or email info@dnwml.org for more information about any of those events today and anything else that you might see on our website, where we have a full range of calendar events, as well as the option to sign up for our newsletter, which is always full of good information, both for events at Disability Network and as well as the immediate community. And just one clarification, just to make sure that folks are not confused. The trunk or treat is for 14 and up. So not for the littles, but more for some of the bigger kids who often are, and adults who are often excluded from some of those festivities come Halloween time. Again, happening on October 11th at our Ann Arbor location. So hopefully the weather will be a little better than it traditionally is on Halloween. Hopefully we'll have more of this.
Absolutely. No, thank you very much. And I appreciate the clarification. So trunk or treat, get your candy, but 14 and up only for that event. Thank you so much. And thank you to the Disability Network, Washington Monroe Livingston, for all the great work that they do for our community. Wonderful.
Thank you.
All right. Any questions for Andy or Andrea before we move on? All right. Next, we have the Partners and Access Committee report with Larry Keeler. Larry?
Hey. Well, it was we had our meeting on the 12th at 5 p.m. on basically last Thursday. And it was Commissioner Ackenbauer and I. And Commissioner Ackenbauer was wondering about he was seeing window signs for different things, and he wondered if we could get window signs for the commission put up in some of the businesses downtown. We talked about the film series featuring people with disabilities, starting on January 15th, 2025. And we also were talking about, we gave updates on things that came through AATA, like I had been mentioning to AATA putting consistency on the bus announcements, and the fact that each bus had to be individually adjusted for that. And we didn't really touch on any of the parking issues because we didn't know exactly what was going on with the parking issues, but I brought up a problem that was observed, and we looked at it, and Commissioner Ackenbauer actually pulled it up on Google, and I may walk down there. There's on 3rd Street, right across from the Lutheran Church down there, there is a couple of stairs on the sidewalk. Right on the sidewalk, there's a rail, and there's a sign, but for people like me who don't see the sign and may not find the rail, it could be a hazard, especially, walking down there. There we go, if you're not looking at it. So we're going to see. I'm going to talk to the Transportation Commission and see what we can do about that, and look into straightening that up. Maybe put signs up. We had a couple of ideas about putting signs up. I want to, since there's a crosswalk out there, maybe put an APS right there that says something about steps. I don't know how to solve it, but we'll look. We've got pics, and that's what we discussed. It took us about half an hour, but we had an interesting discussions, and that is the meeting. If anybody wants to fill in, Commissioner Damon, I know you know about the film series, and Commissioner Ackenbauer, you might want to say something about the signage you were talking about.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I could jump in. Is that all right?
Sure, sure.
When we were talking about the, oh, I'm sorry, Zach, did you say, is it all right?
Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
Okay. I guess I can add additional context to 2 points. When we were talking about the street, the sidewalk with the steps, I did reach out to the person in the Ann Arbor government who is in charge of traffic signs and pavement markings, and their group just a couple minutes ago reached back out to me and said that there are a couple of, because what I was initially thinking was we could ask them uh, about the steps ahead signs. So when there are steps on a sidewalk, they're somewhat required to have like the steps ahead signs. And I was thinking there must be a list somewhere of all of the places within the downtown area that have these steps ahead signs, and we could kind of see if there are a lot of these sidewalk step issues within the downtown area. They reached back out to me and said that they're actually working to remove these steps wherever possible. So they do have, and they have been actively doing it, and they have steps ahead signs in just a couple of locations where they remain, but they're currently in the process of fixing those, of making them no longer steps. So they said that we could reach out to them and maybe collaborate or ensure that they're all taken care of. Those concerns can be addressed. So that's one thing that's kind of, I haven't responded to the email and we haven't discussed it any further. And then the other thing that I was discussing was about there's one outside of the Michigan Theater. There's a vacant storefront, and the Ann Arbor Symphony Orchestra has this pop-up storefront with information about the Ann Arbor Symphony Orchestra. And it says, like, hey, this is, what the Ann Arbor Symphony Orchestra is. They have pamphlets. They have a QR code where you can get more information, and they have upcoming events and that kind of thing. And it's part of something called Storefront Connections, which is like an initiative that is being undertaken in the Ann Arbor area, where businesses or nonprofits or other interests can take up a vacant storefront and decorate it with messaging about their business or nonprofit or what have you. And so I was thinking it might be an interesting undertaking for the commission to say, hey, this commission is integral part of the Ann Arbor area. If you have informing the public, I suppose, about disability resources, maybe collecting information, like non-committally collecting information from individuals, like, oh, if you've seen a sidewalk or any other kind of disability concern within the area, here's a QR code to a Google form or different kinds of modalities for getting feedback. But I thought it might be an interesting way to present information to the public about Ann Arbor local and state disability resources. So those are the two things. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sam, and thank you for bringing both of those to the commission's attention. I think what you talked about in terms of access with the steps is an important part as well. And thank you for reporting on them getting back to you. And then as far as storefront connections, creating engagement, creating awareness, yeah, I'd love to get a consensus from our full commission on if we would like to pursue that, and then kind of figure out who the point of contact would be for storefront connections, and how we go about that, and if there's a cost associated with that, if it's free to the community, kind of what some of the other details would be. Thank you. All right. Next, we have the Community Engagement Subcommittee report with Commissioner Rachel Hawkins. Rachel, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Zach. Hope everyone had a lovely summer. I have been in contact with Melissa Bondi with Ann Arbor Inclusive. While we were out for the summer, they had done two separate shows. Their July show was with the Kirk Gibson Foundation. And then they also did an August show with the No Obstacles Band. They're still currently working on their guest for September. Both of those shows are uploaded to YouTube now. So if anyone is interested in looking at the shows, you would just search for Ann Arbor Inclusive on YouTube and they would pop right up. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Rachel, and for all the work that you're doing with community engagement. I know you and I will be in touch because I want to definitely continue the community engagement subcommittee bridge to be strong as we come back into the fall with our commission with Ann Arbor Inclusive and be able to continue to suggest guests for them and different things as well as they go forward. So you and I will definitely be, in touch about that. If there's any other commissioners who also want to join in that process and in community engagement, I encourage that. And please let myself or Rachel know about that and we can loop you in.
Thanks,
you.
Beck.
Yeah. All right. Next, we have the recruiting activity report with Larry Keeler. Larry?
Well, over the summer, we've had 3 applicants, and I can't remember. I always keep forgetting how many openings we have, but I know we have at least 1 or 2 openings. But we did interview an applicant, and we may be hearing from them next month. We're not exactly sure. That depends on where the application goes and the mayor's office and all that, but we may be hearing from them next month. So we have been working over the summer. That's all I got. We do have an application approved. We got 2 waiting, and that's it.
Wonderful.
We keep continuing to do it.
Yeah, wonderful. And then just to clarify too, for the full commission, the application that we do have approved, Kennedy or Larry, am I correct in that candidate will then give an introduction at the October meeting?
Yes, so the candidate will give an introduction at the October meeting that we will be having, and the commission only has 1 current vacancy.
Okay. Well, that would be correct if I didn't mention it for sure, because if for some reason the mayor's office, city council and the mayor's office rejects it, then we won't get it, but we should.
So once they do their commission introduction, then the commission would then vote and to send the application to the mayor. Yep. So the commission will need to vote first.
Correct.
Yeah. Excuse me. I messed up on that, but you're right.
No problem, Larry. I appreciate all the work that you're doing in recruitment, and thank you, Kennedy, for the clarification. Next, I'd like to move on. Larry, don't go anywhere because we need you for the
I'm right here.
We need you for the Transportation Commission update.
Well, the summer was kind of interesting because we had 2 meetings that didn't have a quorum, and then we almost didn't get one for the meeting on the 21st of August, but we did, and there was no. We're talking a lot about mostly a lot of the way that the different projects were going over the summer. The water main project started at Pauline and 7th, and it goes all the way down to towards 5th Street in Ann Arbor. So Pauline's going to be sort of out of commission for a little bit, or at least slowed down. And then there was something about questions about having protective bike lanes. They're putting protective bike lanes out and putting barriers so that people that can ride bicycles without getting without straying into the lanes and getting hit by cars or cars being hit by bikes. And there's a lot of stuff going on there. And they're talking about reparking things on Pauline temporarily, or taking parking spaces, doing something while they're doing this water main stuff. And our bylaws, we voted on them, and we had a presentation on snow removal and how that help is available to those who are unable to clear their own snow. And then we talked about more EV chargers being put in for cars, mostly in the parks. And then we talked about their new AI system that they're coming up with a little bit. And it's going to be called And I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be doing, but the AI system is apparently supposed to be telling you where APSs and all kinds of other things are about as far as transportation is concerned. And that's it.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Larry. I do appreciate all the work you're doing with the Transportation Commission. And as far as the I also thought that it was going to be sort of an automated response with the website as well, or do I have that mistaken?
I'm not sure. I'll let you know, because they just introduced it. So I'll let you know. I'll ask about it this evening too. I'm sure it will come up again this evening, and that would be under the announcements, but that's not here yet. But we're having another one of those transportation commissions this evening at 7.
All righty. Thank you very much. Next, we have the U of M Council for Disability Concerns meeting update from Commissioner Matthew Solomon. Matthew, good afternoon.
Hi, so the commission met on September the 10th on Zoom. It was a very short meeting. We had a very little agenda, no new business, and the meeting adjourned quite early. So really not much to report.
Thank you. I appreciate you sitting in for the U of M Council for Disability Concerns. I know they're doing great work at the university and have a lot of engaging subject matter and presenters. So thank you for that. Next, I'd like to move on to the organizational equity report with Tracy Bird. Is Tracy on with us this afternoon, Kennedy?
Tracy is not. However, Laura, they are here. Laura, did you have any update?
Hi, Laura. Good afternoon.
Okay, I guess not.
Yeah, we seem to be having some difficulty there. No problem. Next, I will skip over that, and we can move to the city personnel report with Kennedy.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you all had a great summer. I currently have no city personnel updates, but as always, if there's anything I can do to help or assist you, please let me know.
Thank you, Kennedy. Thank you very much. Moving on, we're moving on to the chair report. I did want to mention there are a lot of great events coming up within the disability community. And so I'll be sending out obviously some information about that. And first of all, I just want to thank the commission for putting up with all the updates that I do send all of you. But I'm just doing my best to always keep you, informed and ready to go. And there's so much information and there's so much going on in the disability community, not just, citywide and statewide, but around the country. And I think it's important that all of us are informed. With that, I'm going to be sending out a notice. There's going to be an inclusive production workplace workshop for those in the disability sector that are involved with media. And so this is tailored for producers, production workers, and HR professionals. And this workshop will equip the attendees with the tools and insights needed to foster a workplace where everyone can thrive. And so very excited about that. this workshop is put on by Disability Belongs. Yeah, very excited for that workshop as well. Also, I just did want to point out also that there were some great events that happened recently. I know that Councilmember Edwin had given us some support and wanted us to support her in terms of council passing a resolution for the right to sit. But I will not steal council members' thunder on that. I will have them talk about that further. But so there's that, which I definitely hope we can continue to support. And then there's also, I just want to encourage the commission, wholly as a chairman, that we did have an opportunity to support a disability proclamation as well. Unfortunately, just due to timing and due to the fact that, this review of that particular proclamation, although not all different from past proclamations, we just were not able to convene to actually review and vote and approve that disability voting proclamation for the city. But I would really like to encourage all of us to go out of our comfort zone at times and to be able to be a part of these great opportunities, so that we can be a part of these great initiatives going on in our city and our state. It seems we have a comment.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yeah, I just wanted to offer a slightly different framing of that little episode, which unfortunately is becoming pretty common, where we're brought in at a very late date for our consultation. So I do feel it's important that we can't rush around and try and schedule an emergency meeting because the powers that be have failed to prepare in due time. So I really want to register a kind of objection to this framing that somehow we need to work harder or on an emergency basis, when in fact, with the right timing, this could have easily come before the commission in due time. So that's just my take on it.
Councilmember Gazielwood?
I appreciate Commissioner Solomon saying that. Just for my part, so that we're transparent, there are usually some of these proclamations, or for example, the right to sit ordinance change will have to go through legal. And due to the review process, there are times when they can't be brought here. At an ideal time that we would potentially like. And if you guys, feel like you're unable to endorse it or sponsor it, that's totally okay. Usually my intention is that you guys are able to see it. If you want to support it, you can. But I agree, having emergency rush last minute meetings is not something that I hope that we do, or nor do I intend that we continue doing that, because I want you guys to be able to fully evaluate and see what I'm bringing to council. So I just wanted to clarify.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yeah, very much appreciate those words, Commissioner, Council Member. Is there any way that we could somehow be involved in an earlier basis? I think that's a pattern that I would love to see become more the norm, that we were involved earlier in all of these processes, rather than, again, the feeling on this commission, maybe it's just me, but it feels like always the last minute, always the last to know. And it just doesn't feel like we're really truly part of the process or truly included.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I'm sorry that you have felt that way. And also if others have felt that way too, that is definitely not my intent. So what I typically do, like for example, for the right to sit, that's something that I've been bringing up every meeting for, I think, over almost a year now. And what I'll do is, due to OMA, I cannot email out all of you with it. So then I will email out Zach or and often Alex and ask if they want to provide some input. And that's not at all to, place blame on anyone or anything. I think from there, maybe we need to discuss a process And maybe Kennedy, you can help advise on what can we do then to share it in a setting that I don't even know if it can be done on email necessarily.
I think the best option would be when it needs to be shared or discussed within the commission is we can set up a meeting to where we could have it to where commissioners come and we can all meet to discuss it. If we do meet, it would have to be set as a special meeting and there would need to be a quorum, and the quorum is 5.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
Commissioner Ratcliffe, I saw your hand. Did you have any questions?
I was just gonna say, I know from another commission that sometime that we use a subcommittee to do that, or do to have discussions where there's no voting required. So there isn't that same, at least in our bylaws, that same need for a quorum, especially since it's a subcommittee, kind of like Partners in Access is a subcommittee or a committee. And that, and you do set up a special meeting for that, but that may be one way to do it because
Yes,
then
I
it's just a
agree.
discussion.
Yep, so I agree. If the commission would like to make a subcommittee to address these things, that can also be done.
And Kennedy, if I were to, would it be okay then? So like, for example, I sent Right to Sit or the proclamation to Zach and Alex a while ago. And is it okay then to also include members of the subcommittee as long as it doesn't make a quorum, right? That's not against OMA violation.
Correct. So I believe if it's in a draft form, yes, because then when there is the meeting that can be discussed, but it cannot already be like finalized and things like
Right.
that.
I think that is a good working process for us. If that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, this is Zach. I have no problem with that. I mean, I agree with that process. I would say number one, what would we call this subcommittee? Number two, who would want to, be a part of that? I'm happy to be a part of that subcommittee. And I'm happy to assist. I would just want to know what other commissioners would want to be a part of that committee. When would we want to meet? Kind of, set the calendar and go from there.
Councilmember Gaziella?
So if we're, the one thing that might be difficult is that it would potentially conflict with other commission meetings I have. I'm trying to lower my hand, sorry. Is it possible to meet as needed? And also, is it required that we meet always, or can we, because it's not a quorum, can we work on some of this online together, like me emailing and saying,
So
go
it
ahead.
would be like the Partners in Access subcommittee. They are scheduled to meet on a designated day at a designated time once a month.
And that's where they do the work on
Correct.
the policies.
Right.
Commissioner Hawkins?
I just wanted to clarify in terms of kind of the scope of what this additional subcommittee would be, if it was like to kind of handle these more urgent requests, or if it was specifically looking at like that disability proclamation, just because I know that we do have, as Matthew brought up, there's a lot that goes on in between meetings. And so I just want to clarify kind of what the purpose of the subcommittee would be. Would it be more broad in terms of handling things that kind of come up, more, I guess it's not urgent, but where we may not know about it until closer to the date, and then we could kind of schedule meetings as needed, or I think there's many ways we could do it. I'm just kind of curious kind of what the intention was.
Sure, Damon?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Commissioner Hawkins, for the questions. Um, I guess I can answer that. So basically, I think forming this subcommittee, is going to be paramount going forward so that the work can be discussed. And not only that, but our council liaison has somewhere to send this information as soon as they have it, and send it in advance. Basically, it's a matter of setting the time of when we're going to meet. But then also, I want to encourage the commissioners who are interested to let myself and Kennedy know, so that we can begin to form the roster of that subcommittee, and and meet and then form our duties and how we're going to go forward. I'm not sure what we want to call the subcommittee as of yet, but we don't have to finalize the subcommittee today, but we do need to kind of form the details of that as soon as possible, if that makes sense.
I would be interested, and would definitely like to participate in whatever discussion happens about kind of what the scope will be and what the meeting schedule will be.
There is a commissioner interested in serving on the newer subcommittee. Could you all please send me an email and also include Zach on that email so I can start a list? Commissioner Solomon?
Two things. First of all, I want to just be clear that this idea of an afterthought long predates Councilmember Ghazi Edwin, long predates it. So that is in no way a reflection on your involvement in this commission, which I think has been very vigorous, consistent, inclusive, etc. There was, in my perception, a pattern, and I'm hoping that it doesn't continue. I think that the part that I don't understand, and I've never actually been a part of city council, is why is a special meeting or a special commission needed, right? Our commission decides its schedule well in advance, months, almost a year in advance. I assume city council has the same type of schedule, and we work within that. So the part that I don't understand, and this is just perhaps my ignorance, like, why do we have to have special commission meeting, special committee? Can't we just work within the structures that already exist and just have more time, right? To have 3 months, to do things more in advance and less last minute? Like, that's my question.
Chair Damon, and then we'll go to Vice Chair Keeler.
Yeah, thank you, and I'll be brief. I mean, Matthew, great question. There's, I mean, and council member, please interject too if you have any insight. But to my knowledge, there's a lot of timelines that are out of our control, right? In terms of what's going across city council's desk, what's going across legal, and their timeline. Their timeline is different than ours. Their timeline is different than our schedule and our meeting calendar. So basically, creating this subcommittee is giving us an opportunity to have things to land versus us having to be glued into the last minute. If our council liaison comes across something and there's enough time for us to discuss it and get it to the subcommittee, then hopefully we can do that. But also, it's just one of those things where we're trying to refine the process. I don't specifically know the answer to what you're asking. Why can't we just do it fully as a commission? Well, because we've tried to do that in the past, Commissioner Solomon, and as you've seen, there's a lot of things that happen at the last minute. So, thank you.
Vice Chair Keeler?
Well, concerning the subcommittee, I think that whatever the subcommittee, whichever of the commissioners get on the subcommittee, I think we ought to have council liaison on the subcommittee, and I think we ought to have, if we can, the ADA coordinator on the committee as well when they can, because these, of course, because our city liaison is direct connection to the city council, and she would know what's going on so that we can deliberate what's going on the subcommittee and bring it back to the commission. So, and when we plan for a subcommittee meeting, that we keep in mind at least our council liaison's time too, and try to schedule it when she can do it.
Chair
Thank you,
Damon.
Vice Chairman. This is Chair Damon. I mean, I just want to point out, in closing in my comments that I'm open to the commission, to how the commission, would like to address certain city council requests or ideas and how, Kodai can be involved, as a unified voice and a unified body. But how that is to happen is kind of to be determined.
It's just a proposal.
All right. Well, I think, at this point, I'm going to move on because we have some other agenda items here. But please, if you're interested in joining this uh, new subcommittee, please let Kennedy and myself know, and we can go forward with the planning. But with that, I would like to move on to the city council update with council member Edwin.
Hi, thank you. So yeah, keep me updated and hopefully we can find something that works for most of us. But I do think it would be helpful. But anywho, okay, so right to sit is an ordinance. Remember, we've been talking about it for a while, and it's essentially putting the right to sit protected in our city's non-discrimination ordinance, which is called Chapter 112. And it would protect individuals' right to sit at work, which is kind of shocking that it's not protected already, whether or not you have a disability. Something that used to be more widely protected, but it lost federal protection a long time ago, and now city by city and state by state, slowly different places have been enacting it. It's protected throughout the state of California. It's something that almost all of Europe protects. And I brought it to the city council meeting on Monday. It was Monday, right? I'm sorry, I'm kind of in a brain fog. And there was some, question about the business community potentially have questions about this and how it may impact them. So I've decided to postpone it and try to have some conversations both with labor and with the business community and with you guys about what are the impacts. And hopefully during this time also get your guys' support. But one thing you should know is that the language, so the ordinance is actually what changes the law. And the ordinance language that the city attorneys drafted up, that we cannot change at this point because it's gone. We got a legal opinion from the state about whether we could do this or whether we could get sued. And then we had to have a legal opinion from Michigan OSHA that helped us craft this paragraph. I can share that with you guys. And then from that, I made a resolution, which is just this resolution. Usually resolutions can either be about, moving around resources, and this is just really expressing the values of why right to sit is important. And I can share that with you guys. And I'm hoping that I can get the Disability Commission's endorsement on this, since, that if you have a disability, the right to sit is protected under the ADA, but so many people don't qualify for quote unquote legal disabilities. You might have a bad back or bad knees, but all day you're standing in a drive-through, or all day you're working a register as a cashier. And we actually had a pretty moving story of someone who came and said, given the right, they couldn't afford health insurance at the time. And so they couldn't start the process of having a legally defined disability, and having the right to sit while they cut hair saved their job. Let me stop because I'm talking a lot. Does anybody have any questions about any of that?
I just want to offer, go ahead, Commissioner Solomon.
No, I just would love an opportunity to hear more about this, more of the response that you got from business community members. It sounds like a very important issue, and one that I would just like to understand in its greater complexity and have the disability community part of that discussion. So is there a way we could hear more at a later date when everybody has more time and it can appear on the agenda?
Sure. That's something that I could do. Hoping that we can get it before it would have. So this is coming back to City Council on October 7th. And as Chair Damon had said, a lot of these are influenced by different factors on different policies coming in at different times and what we're advised. So there's room on the agenda, there's not room on the agenda. So right now I'm hoping for October 7th, but that also means if there are any changes to the resolution, that it would have to be sent the Wednesday prior. So that would be Wednesday the 2nd, but I'm hoping that there's not going to be a lot of edits. I mean, the resolution is really just that this is a human right, this is a labor right. General. The concerns from the business community were brought to me through a different council member. And I think there was concerns with the original text that must allow seats for all employees. And that's difficult in implementation to calculate, right? And that text was removed and said it must permit them to seat. Permitting them as opposed to must permit them and provide them with seating. And we assume that if you're going to permit someone a seat, that there's going to be a seat somewhere, right? Or permit someone to sit. I would like to share, Kennedy, the resolution and the ordinance text and even the memo that was sent for the city attorney to all council. Can I do that via email? And if I can't, can I send it to you and you do it? I mean,
Yeah, if it's still in draft form, you can. And what I'll do is I can just email everybody from today's email that I sent out this week, and then just say that this is the draft of the ordinance that's in the work.
Okay. So
I
this
would
is
like to see that.
okay. So this has been published and it is essentially final, but I guess we can say that it's in draft form in case, let's say someone wants to like add a word to it. Is that what you mean?
Just to clarify, will there still be edits and changes to like the wording and the language in it, or is the language finalized?
I mean, we could, as a committee, if you guys want to add and edit to resolution, that's totally fine. So let's say now it's in draft form, and let me find the communication from Margie.
Yep, I would just double check with Margie and them, but I can distribute it to the entire commission.
Okay, so you distribute it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Commissioner Ratcliffe?
I would think that at this point, because you had the first reading of the ordinance on Monday, right?
We did, but there was a movement to postpone it. So,
But it was still,
that's true. Yes.
it was still first reading, even though it was postponed,
That's
and
true.
it was attached to the council agenda. So it's already public information. So just to be able to see that copy that's already been attached to the council agenda, I don't think that there'd be a problem.
You are right. You are absolutely right. What I'll do is I'll go in Legistar and I'll go to the agenda and get the copy off of the agenda and I'll send it to you all.
That would be great. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Kennedy. All right. Council member, was that your full report?
Yep, that's it for right now. I mean, that's it for right now, primarily. Yep.
Okay, thank you. All right. Next, do we have any old business? Okay, none
We
at this.
currently have no old business on the agenda.
All right, thank you. Any new business to be brought up to the commission?
Excuse me. I didn't get up to raise my hand. I think the 3rd Street thing is going to be new business soon, but I think when we get some qualification to if we can do anything or not, that will be a future agenda item for next month, maybe.
Okay. We can definitely add that on for October. If you have any other additional details on 3rd Street when you meet with the Transportation Commission, please let Kennedy and I know.
I'll do that.
Thank you. All right. Any other new business? Any communications?
Again, it's me. I'll just say that there's a transportation meeting tonight at 7, and I'm sure that unless there's something immediately dealing with the commission, I will report on that next month. if there's anything that we need to look into sooner than that, I will let you guys know.
All righty. Thank you. Okay. With that, it is 5:05. I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
I will move to adjourn.
Okay. Larry moves to adjourn. I'm sorry, who seconded?
Oh, Rosanita?
Thank you, Commissioner
Rosanita did.
Radcliffe seconded. All in favor of adjourning at 5:05 p.m., please unmute and say aye.
Aye.
I
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. This meeting is adjourned. I think we made some great progress. I appreciate all of you and your sacrifice and commitment to making our city and our community more inclusive and accessible for all. We will talk to you next month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Recording stopped.